Welcome to the first ever edition of What Really Busts My Balls.
David, what is busting your balls?
You know what busts my balls?
I have not a clue.
When baseball players become extremely fat.
Example, Ken Griffey Jr. is now fatter than Adam Dunn.
But none of them are fatter than Mo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn was just obese.
You know what really busts my balls?
What's that?
When the announcers of a team are more A-list than the team itself.
We, of course, are speaking of the Reds.
They have made great additions such as Tom Brenneman and Jeff Brantley, but they still don't have any pitchers besides Farang and Arroyo.
Sure, you can argue Eric Milton, but, you know, that's what you get when you get a fly ball pitcher in a hitter's park. You know what busts my balls?
I haven't a clue.
These darn Democrats.
Example?
Al Gore.
What about him?
He's fat.
What else?
They suggest that he take a pledge to where he lowers his household energy use to that of the national average. But he refused to do it. He avoided the question because right now his household uses 20 times more than the national average.
You know what really busts my balls?
What's that?
Asian drivers.
Why?
Because for some reason, they're always in the hammer lane with their turn signal on. They never turn it off.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Rednecks.
Why?
They make toothpaste for a reason, David.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Wheat bread.
Why?
Because it doesn't taste as good as white bread.
But it's more natural and it's healthier for you.
So, does it look like I care about health?
You only like white bread because it's the same color as your skin.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Bald people.
Why?
Because.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People with enormous heads. You are the reason that the snapback is still made.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People who live in the past.
Who?
No specific answer.
Oh.
You know what else really busts my balls?
What?
People that think they're awesome and call other people idiots.
I know who that is. You know what really busts my balls?
What?
When the camera switches to the old Batman villain cam.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People who like Superman.
I hate him. Batman.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People that hate Tubby Smith.
David, don't you get me started on that crap. The Fat Waste won a championship his first year, and that was it. And it was with the team that Rick Pitino put together, so shut up.
He still went to 10 consecutive tournaments.
David, a lot of people went to 10 consecutive tournaments.
I can only name one.
Who?
Gretzky.
David, you know what Tubby Smith is?
Black.
And fat. And he is only this far above Bob Huggins.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People who don't agree with the legalization of marijuana.
Stop the effing tape. I will start cussing.
New subject.
busts my balls?
What?
Wind chimes.
Yeah, they have no real reason to be invented.
They just sit there until it's windy, and then they go clink, 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 a ding, a ding, a ding. And then that's it.
They have no real purpose, kind of like
people that say they're really awesome in sports but never play them in high school because they're afraid of getting hit.
JP.
I wasn't going to say that because, you know, Turd Muffin might see this and kill you now.
She never gets on my blogs.
Oh,
You know what really busts my balls?
what?
Shopping carts.
Why?
They don't make them big enough so we can sit in them and shop.
That's true. You know what really busts my balls?
Hypocrites?
Nope.
They don't?
Well, they do, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
What?
Mallow bars.
What is that?
It is a chocolate-covered marshmallow cookie type of deal.
I probably would bust my balls over that too.
Because the chocolate does not taste as it should.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Slow pitch softball.
David, we're probably going to end up playing that in another 10 years.
But you got to realize, why do they have it in high school? What are you going to amount to with getting a slow pitch softball scholarship? You're going to have a beer gut, and you're going to play on Sunday afternoons with really crappy tight short pants.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Overtime in the NFL.
Why?
Because it should not be sudden death. It should be the format of arena football in which each team gets a chance, and if they are still tied after that, it goes to sudden death.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Joey Porter.
Why is that?
Because he just randomly goes up to people and punches them in the face.
That's true. You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People who rely on their friends to take them to their girlfriend's house and then hang out with their friends more than their girlfriends.
Who?
Who do you think? JP.
You know what really busts my balls?
Who? What?
Carpenter bees.
Why?
They're the fattest bees, yet they are the wimpiest bees because they never sting you.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
A handrail when I try to step over and I slip.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
The Cuban flag.
When do you see that?
I don't know, but when I see it, it busts my balls.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
How I go to almost every basketball game this year and only get a thank you from your sister and Mindy. Nobody else on the team thanked me.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
I don't know yet.
You know what busts my balls?
What?
Awkward silences when nobody can think of what to say on bust my balls.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Knees.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Pat Diesel when he gets bored. And I can't do anything to stop him because he's Pat Diesel.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People that don't like Pat Diesel.
Is there such a thing?
Apparently.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
People who don't like the movie Batman Begins.
Who?
I have ran into such people, and I just want to punch them in their faces.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Hillary Clinton.
Not only would she bust your balls, she'd probably tear them off.
Have you seen pictures of her when she was still living in Arkansas?
Ugly is ugly, and it will never change.
You know what really busts my balls?
What?
Going to the mall